the detours I've taken. Anyhow, let's get on to today's topic, gratitude. I was having a conversation with my brother just a few minutes ago, and it hit me how I haven't been grateful lately. For years and years, let me back up. I've worked since 1979. I'm not a young man. At the time of this recording in 2024, I am 57 years old. And yes, I started work very young. I started work in 1979. Had a paper route. I worked summers in a machine shop for my family. And then when I could drive, I started working after school. So I worked quite a while. And in 2020, I finally was able to build a workshop. I was a mechanic for a number of years before I became a truck driver. Well, for many years, I was really not very affluent. And for a lot of that time, cars were my hobby. And I would have some wannabe ratty hot rod, right? Or ratty wannabe hot rod, I should say. And, man, I had to borrow time in people's garages and carports and driveways. I'd work in my own driveway. I'd work on the side of the street. Just the worst of conditions. Hand tools, no air tools. And there really weren't a lot of battery powered stuff for a lot of the time I was working. That technology didn't come into play until well into the 2000s. You didn't get good enough stuff at a good enough price point, then it would have been in my wheelhouse, right? So anyway, I was a real bucks down god. And now I have a 1,200 square foot shop with HVAC, good lighting, a dedicated 200 amp service and compressed air. I was talking to my brother, and I was pissing and moaning that the garage doors, I have two big garage bay doors, as well as an entry door at the opposite end for just to walk in. And I was pissing and moaning that dirt likes to blow in where the garage doors are, and what a pain it is keeping that place swept up. And legitimately, it's kind of a hassle. That, yeah, dirt does tend to blow in there. The way it's oriented on the property, yeah, it's a thing. Okay. True enough. Fair enough. It is a thing. But honestly, it just hit me as I was yapping on how bloody ungrateful I was being. How what I take for granted now was pie in the sky for decades out of my life. And I don't think that's me. I don't know that that's, addiction or alcoholism. I think it's, because the man I was speaking with is what in the rooms we would call a normie. And he's relating to it. And I think it's the human condition that we get something and initially we're over the moon about it and we just can't believe our good fortune, and then it becomes normal. Man, it becomes normal. And I don't want you to think I'm trying to flex here that I own all this. Remember, I'm a guy who's worked for 40-something years to acquire what I've acquired. I mean, it's been a long, slow process. keep on the flip side. Let's keep on the flip side. In recovery, I spent a significant number of years fairly close to the poverty level in recovery. I mean, you hear about the working poor for a lot of years. That was me, and that was me. You know, so the upshot of this is gratitude. And it's kind of just a little, bit of me checking myself, checking my attitude, reminding myself to practice gratitude for what I have, not sitting and sniveling that I don't have the slick, beautiful glass smooth poured epoxy floor in a black and white checkerboard pattern and all the cool stuff that you can see on Instagram. No, man. Let's give thanks for what we've got here and now and focus on that. Because people I respect tell me it is important to do. No two ways about it. People I respect many times have told me it is important to be grateful. So I'm throwing this out here, number one, to tell on myself for being a little bitch and not counting my blessings, and to publicly express gratitude to the universe for what I do have. I can sit and whine because I've got a leg full of titanium that hurts when the weather changes. I've got a knee that's jacked up and doesn't like to work in certain ways. But you know what? That's not worth fixing on. What is worth fixating on is the fact that I hit a deer riding a motorcycle. I didn't die and I can walk today. What is worth fixating on is, let me think, it's just about coming up on 5 years after that day that accident happened. And I've paid off the last of my medical bills. And that was not an inconsiderable thing. Think about it, leg full of titanium. That metal comes expensive when you go to the doctor shop, right? Let's give gratitude. Because me sitting and whining about stuff, it's not going to get me anywhere, right? If I focus, if I can spin metaphysical, if I focus on what I don't have, if I focus on lack, I focus on disappointment and want, the people I respect tell me that by focusing on that, I will draw more situations to show me lack and disappointment and wanting. But if I focus on gratitude, and I focus on appreciating what I have today, the ability to get up and walk, and I don't think you can tell, looking at my gait, I don't think you can tell the damage that occurred to that leg. I don't think you can tell that one of them's a little shorter than the other. And by focusing on the gifts that I've been given, not the ones that I have on my Christmas wish list that I wish Santa God would come down the chimney, but by focusing on all those good things that I legitimately do, that the universe is going to align itself to bring more things that I will be grateful for. And I also will enjoy whatever the universe brings, because I will have, as they put it in the rooms, that attitude of gratitude. Anyway, as always, wherever you are, whatever you're up to, I hope that you are safe, well, and happy. And until next time, I'll see you out on the road.